Hello, beauties and those alike. This weekend I had some very powerful conversations. I just love it when you gather with like minded individuals that are able to see past the connections that we have with others. And we're discussing how certain people will need to justify themselves continuously with the story they tell themselves. That's why I always say, what story are you telling yourself? What is playing in your mind? How have you programmed yourself? Because that's going to be the difference between your perspective of others and the reality. Certain people can be very dominating within their own families. And they feel that they are empowered by the story that they've been told since they were little, and they feel it and they grasp onto that identity and it empowers them. And then people grow apart from you and no longer tolerate your bullshit. They don't identify with your story. Why? Because they've worked on themselves. They've identified that what you think who you think you are, it's just within you. It isn't a collective idea. So we see that you are just continuously placing that story to everybody else. Perhaps maybe that you're the good one, that you're the savior, that you're the most valued person, that you're rich, that you're abundant, whatever you identify yourself with. But through that, we see clearly. We see the lack of spirit and lack of abundance within you based on how you treat everybody else. You cannot place that generosity of the story that you're telling yourself to others that are awakened within your circle. And you're going to have a very hard reality understanding that you are no longer powerful. Ooh, honey, it just clicked on me. The need to justify your story to everybody else is definitely a narcissistic point of view. Or it could be also out of the trauma that you faced in your life, that you're consistently telling yourself that you're the victim of such a thing, such people, such stories, such experiences. But you're just misplacing your value, your perspective. Maybe you need to get a new one. Get a new perspective, because it's not working. Okay. Stop justifying who you are to others. That's another thing. You necessarily don't need to justify yourself to others. If you believe who you are, then be it greatly. What you don't have the right to be is to misplace that onto others. You know, it's very difficult to work on yourself and identify your opportunities, let's call it that. And others are going to have their own journey. They are not going to follow that same journey, and it's going to be very difficult to understand that, right? So you can be true to yourself, true to your story, and that should be sufficient. Now, consistently having to preach about who you are and preach about the lovely story you're placing onto everybody else, that just doesn't work. Only those that identify with it through their own darkness, through their own light, will identify with it. Okay. I hope it clicks. Have a blessed day.